Good afternoon, Mr. Conrad Schumacher. Thank you very much for speaking to us today. Now, we're here at Patchett's Equestrian Centre and you're presenting a symposium this evening. Can you tell us what you're going to be covering, what topics and what's happening this evening?
Well, I want to show the education of horse and rider through the levels, and I want to show the education like I do it. I've made experiences all over the world, and I found that my way of doing it is the best way to achieve goals.
Excellent. Now, as good advice for this evening, we're starting at novice level and going all the way through to Grand Prix. But what's the most important message that you're getting across this evening?
Well, the most important message I want to bring over is that we have to work really on the rider a lot in dressage, because the best horse in the world doesn't do anything except the rider knows what he has to do. And I want to bring over the message that classical riding, which is horse friendly, has a solution for every issue. We don't need shortcuts and tricks. The classical way is still the very best.
So the basic training is the fundamental part of all the training.
Exactly, yeah. The basic training is all about it. When we have a problem at the basics, we never get it later.
Okay, so for people, as you know, in sort of the British dressage scene, a lot of people get to medium advanced and then start getting a little bit stuck. Perhaps their horse is better on one rein than the other. What would you suggest they do in those situations?
Yeah, it always goes back to the basics. Again, when the horse has a problem later, it might be a lack of straightening in the young ages. And when the horse is crooked, it has to find balance in another way, and then you get irregular movements. So I always recommend go back to the basics, learn to ride properly, and then everything which comes after the medium level is relatively easy.
And you're saying to accept that it is rider error, so it's not the horse's fault.
99% are riding errors.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, your DVD that you already have in place, does that explain those types of things?
Yes, a DVD is always, of course, not the same like a big book or so. You in a DVD you try to cover the subjects by examples. It is, and that's what we did in the first DVD, and the second DVD, what I'm planning, will go for the higher levels then.
Fantastic. So there's actually a process happening. I was going to ask you, is there another DVD coming?
Yeah, another DVD will come for the higher levels.
Brilliant. And where does your passion for dressage come from?
Well, I made the experience. I did everything with the horses in Germany. My dad was the captain of the cavalry, so he insisted that I had to do everything, jumping, eventing, and carriage driving. But then I learned that dressage is what I like the most, is fine communication between horse and rider. That is fascinating for me. And in dressage you have it more than in the other horse disciplines. And that's why I'm a dressage trainer. I just like it. I love it.
We can see that. Now, you've obviously had a million fantastic experiences and you trained the Olympic teams, etc. What's been your best moment?
Well, my best moment is when my students ride so well on a major competition that they win a medal, and I have to feel they ride better than I ever could ride myself.
And I think that's important as well. A good trainer doesn't necessarily have to be the best rider.
No, I do believe that the very best trainers, I know it from my German background, the very best trainers are not necessarily the very best riders. For good riding you need to have a certain talent, and you need to have that as a trainer as well. A rider must always focus about himself. A trainer must focus about the other person or the other horse-rider combination, and that is a different subject.
And do you think, especially here in the UK, do you think we sometimes get it wrong when we're buying horses? Do you think people don't suit the horse to what they can do? Do you think there's any advice you can give there?
Well, I think when you know how to ride and you buy a very good horse because you have the money, then it's okay.
Yeah.
But the moment when you buy a horse in order to learn riding, that goes definitely in the wrong direction. You need to have this solid education, and then you can ride the horses. And the horse will never make a rider. It's always the other way around.
Always the other way around. Fantastic advice. Mr. Schumacher, thank you for talking to us and good luck this evening.
Thank you very much.